Welcome back, everybody. Today we're here to talk about The Walking Dead in an update video. All things Walking Dead. We're going to talk a little bit about Fear the Walking Dead and also the Rick Grimes news that we got recently. And I wanted to come. It was a bunch of little topics. I wanted to combine them all into one video. With the Rick Grimes stuff, it was some pretty cool news that we got from Scott Gimple. He had a lot of interviews recently. I think it's because both Fear the Walking Dead and The World Beyond wrapped up their first halves, or The World Beyond is actually done with the first season, but the Fear the Walking Dead's first half wrapped up. So he had interviews with like comicbook.com and the Hollywood Reporter, and I wanted to talk about some of the stuff he said in those. Before I do get into the news, if you aren't caught up or anything like that with The Walking Dead, just general spoiler warning. And then also, if you're a fan of The Walking Dead, be sure to hit the subscribe button. But other than that, let's get into it. Alright, so starting off with the Fear the Walking Dead news. So just a quick update that Fear the Walking Dead Season 7 has been officially renewed. Or I should say, Fear the Walking Dead has been officially renewed for Season 7. And we talked about this a little bit in a different video when they were talking about writing Season 7. So they were writing it, but now it officially has been renewed, which is awesome. Because for a couple of reasons. First of all, Season 6 has been pretty amazing. So if they keep up what they're doing, I'm definitely down for more Fear the Walking Dead. I mean, these episodes all, they're really well written, but also really well directed. What we're seeing visually is great. The action scenes are great, and then also the cast is great. The characters are great. So everything right now is pretty good, and I'm excited to see more of it in the future. Also, we heard news about Madison coming back. Nothing confirmed or anything like that, but they were just saying that Madison fans look out, because I think they were planning something in the future. I don't know if it's going to be a Tales of the Walking Dead, which is like a brand new. They didn't say it. They just hinted at whether it's going to be Tales of the Walking Dead, which is like stories about past Walking Dead characters, or are we going to see her in Season 7? But I made a video about that if you want to go check it out. But basically, I kind of think it's going to be in Season 7. I think because I feel like Tales of the Walking Dead is more about characters who are gone for sure, like 100%, like maybe characters who died. But Madison, and with Fear the Walking Dead getting better, I feel like they would want Madison to come back to the show. Not that it's necessary or anything like that, because again, the show is really good right now. But for me, I would see her, I think I would see her more fitting in Fear the Walking Dead than the Tales of the Walking Dead, but we don't know for sure. But it does look like we're gonna get some sort of Madison in the future. Alright, so that was the Fear the Walking Dead news. Let's get into the news about the Rick Grimes movies, and this was an interview with Insider. I'm reading the article from comicbook.com, so if you want to check it out, I'll leave it in the link down below. But yeah, he did say some really interesting stuff, so let's get into this. So when they asked for any updates, he said, "I'll give you some things that are hardly definitive, but I just want to reiterate, we are continuing to work on the movie. It is happening," Gimple told Insider. "We're taking this time from COVID, and we're hunkering down with Mr. Lincoln, Mr. Kirkman, Mr. Alpert, AMC, Universal, and we're all charging forward on it. It's just taking a bit more than TV, and we're working on the new shows. So we have stuff into the future of The Walking Dead and a lot of very different stuff. I'm really excited to hopefully have some more stuff to talk about with you coming into the new year." So I did like how he wanted to reiterate that it is happening. And I think that's because it's been a while since they announced the movies, and they just want to make sure, they want people to know that they still are happening, because I think maybe people may be questioning if it's happening. But it is a movie. I think people are still looking at this like it's just like a Walking Dead episode. It's like a movie with Universal. So yes, it's been a while since they announced it, 2 years, but a lot of movies do get announced the years before they release. So I mean, there's probably studios out there who are working on movies right now. They're not going to come out to like 2022 or 2023. Like, that's how it is with movies. So I think he just wants to reiterate that it's happening, because I guess people are saying, or people might be thinking that, are these movies ever going to really happen, because it's been 2 years since they announced it. But I'm sure they are going to be happening. But yeah, like he said, they've been working on it, and I'm very excited to see any news that they give us into the new year, like he said. But he also said this, that "I don't mind telling people that we're working on it. I know people are really itchy. These are no joke," Gimple says. "We make an episode of TV in 8 days. Movies are a different thing. It's going to be amazing. For all the pressure that we have on us for taking this long, that only makes it so that we have to make it amazing. So we will. So there you go. He did make that comparison right there, that with TV it's a lot different, because they make a lot of TV in 1 year, like 16 episodes of The Walking Dead and 16 episodes of Fear the Walking Dead, and now they got The World Beyond too. So I guess because of their track record and how much stuff they put out there, they just want people to know that the movies are still happening. But he did say they're going to be amazing, which I'm excited for. Obviously he's gonna say that, like, he's not gonna say it's bad, but it does get me excited. And it does look like he said that because of the delays because of COVID, they've been fixing stuff and just double checking everything and just trying to make it as amazing as possible, which I'm excited for. But yeah, so we probably will get some news soon in the beginning of 2021, and they're probably going to start filming in 2021 too, which, because I think they were going to start filming this year, but then lockdown happened and stuff like that, so they couldn't, and that's why they said that they're taking the time during COVID and, working on stuff with it. But another thing that I'm curious about is, like, I wonder who's going to direct this movie, because we know Gimple and Kirkman are writing it, but who's going to direct this movie? Like, this is going into theaters, which is the next topic we're about to talk about. But that's going to be pretty interesting, and I think, because they're partnered with Universal and stuff like that, they're really going to go out and make, like, a big movie. It's not just going to be an extended episode, but like an actual movie, which I'm excited for. And we also have to remember they're working on a trilogy of movies, I believe. So I'm sure that they don't have to write all 3 movies at the same time, but at least they have to get an idea of what is going on. Alright, so getting into that article with The Hollywood Reporter, this is what they asked him about the movies and the theater experience, because it's also been another thing people have been discussing, is if these movies are actually going to be in theaters. And then, the question was, you mentioned Rick Grimes a moment ago. Any updates on Andrew Lincoln's return to The Walking Dead universe via these movies? And Gimple said, well, first, it must be said, we should shout out the online production of A Christmas Carol, where he's playing Scrooge at the Old Vic. So that also did get announced, that Andrew Lincoln is going to be playing Scrooge in the production of The Christmas Carol, which I think is pretty cool. I mean, I think Andrew Lincoln being in other stuff is awesome. He's actually in a movie that's coming out called Penguin Bloom. It did air, I think it aired at Toronto International Film Festival, but I think it was Netflix. I know a streaming service, I think it was Netflix, picked it up for distribution. So it's coming out soon, and I'm excited for it because I think he's a great actor, and he's been on The Walking Dead for like 10 years, and I've always wanted to see him in other stuff. So this is going to be pretty cool. But anyways, I totally cut off Gimple there halfway through the sentence. But yeah, he said he's playing Scrooge at the Old Vic, trying to make sure they can keep it going. But yes, we're very much continuing forward. I'm working on it with Mr. Lincoln and the Walking Dead co-creator Robert Kirkman. We have a whole bunch of people cranking away on it. It's a movie. Movies are different. Movies go through a very different process than television. I'm confident at the end of the day, it's going to be something special. So yeah, there you go. I mean, he once again is like reiterating that they're making these movies, but just a totally different thing to make a movie than make a television show. But then the question about the theaters, they asked, are the current conditions and their impact on theaters impacting these films at all? And he answered the question by saying, not at all, but it certainly goes through my head that this is all about seeing the film at the movies. So he then goes on to explain like the situation with the pandemic and the movie theaters and all that kind of stuff, and he's saying that hopefully things will get better and people will eventually get back into the movie theaters. But yeah, that's just him again reiterating that these movies will be coming into theaters. I know that's also been like a discussion lately, not lately, but like actually for a long time, that if these movies are going to come out to theaters. And I think people have sort of been mixed on it. Some people want to see it on AMC or Netflix or something like that. The Walking Dead actually is on Netflix. Every season of it goes on Netflix. So I wouldn't be surprised if this movie eventually does go to Netflix, or AMC for sure. Like, it's probably going to have like an AMC premiere, one day, but I think it's going to be playing at theaters for a while. And I think if they're making the movie at this scale with Universal, one of the biggest distributors, I'm excited for it. It's going to be quite something, right? Like, we started watching this show, 10 years ago on AMC, which is him waking up on a bed and now like we're gonna see him in a movie theater. It's kind of crazy to think about. But yeah, there you go, guys. I just quickly wanted to give this update video, a bunch of little topics about Rick and then also Fear the Walking Dead. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments down below. All that being said, I am gonna wrap it up there. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, be sure to leave a like rating. Again, let me know your thoughts and opinions about Fear the Walking Dead and the Rick Grimes movies in the comments down below. For more Walking Dead videos like this, be sure to subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching, everybody. Please stay safe, and I'll see you guys soon.